Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hi, everyone. I'm Autumn, and you're listening to Golden Otter Divinations Radio as I guest host the Dr. Pat Show. Stay with us for the next hour as we explore where the metaphysical meets the mainstream. And join us live each first Friday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, when we interview medical experts, practicing mediums, intuitives, healers, and many more to help uplift and empower listeners like you to find physical and spiritual healing. So happy holidays, everybody. Before we even get started, I just want to say welcome to Christmas Eve. And thank you all so much for listening and being with us in the midst of the holiday season. I am so excited to introduce my guest today, who is going to talk to us about gifting a soulful life and living a soulful life. So during this gift-giving holiday season, let's take a collective minute to consider where our products come from, how they're sourced, who makes them, or who creates them. All of the choices we make in life have a global effect, including the down chain of our purchasing power. Taking time to foster a sense of love and compassion for others while also looking within for the sparkle that may have gone out in our own soul is a key element to living a soulful life. In doing so, we uplift and buoy those around us, creating a kinder world that considers not just the individual, but the collective. We can be the change that we want to see in the world, one purchase at a time. So I'm so excited to introduce my beautiful guest today, Amalia Natalia Collier, who brings beauty, healing, and kindness into the world with her handmade fair trade jewelry and inspirational apparel, which are the foundation of her business, Karmic Kindness. Like best business name ever. Amalia also offers clarity and loving support through her Soulful Life workshops and Soulful Life retreats, coming in 2019, where she utilizes her knowledge of stone and crystal energy, Reiki, Ho'oponopono healing, energy and chakra healing, meditation and movement, tarot, oracle cards, astrology, and moon cycles, along with her intuition to foster connection and forward movement in any area of life that need a little extra care. For more personalized approach to her Soulful Life philosophy, she also offers one-on-one guidance and coaching. So Amalia is a mother of 4 who is well acquainted with the stress epidemic many teens are facing today. She trained with Yo Kids to learn and share simple yoga and meditation techniques specifically geared towards teens, and completed training through the At-Risk Suicide Prevention Training Program to recognize and assist middle and high school kids in distress. This inspired workshops ultimately a book, which is entitled De-Stress for Success, Simple Strategies to Stress Less, which will be released on Amazon in early 2019. So without further ado, I want to welcome Amalia to Golden Otter Divinations. Welcome, Amalia.
Hi, Autumn. So happy to be here.
Thank you so much for spending your Christmas Eve with me.
I am honored too. Yay! Look at us. We're totally in sync.
So to raise our vibration and really get into the flow, I like to start all my shows by asking my guests if they've had any golden moments lately. So golden meaning a time you were just totally in the flow, or an interaction you knew was sent by spirit or otherwise otherworldly, something that made you smile or your heart sing. Had any golden moments lately?
Oh my gosh, I've actually had so many golden moments lately. I don't know that I could pick one, but I will say this. I think once you get in sync with your life, once you get in alignment with your soul, with your purpose, and you start acting on those little like sparkles of intuition, those little moments that, the golden moments you're talking about that come to you, all of a sudden you have golden moments occur all the time. And you will find that people and circumstances and opportunities show up that you are constantly glowing and smiling and going, wow, holy cow, like this is so incredible. But I think the key is to really get in alignment with who you are and who you're meant to be, and remembering that. And when you do, those golden moments will happen all the time, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend and I who, whenever we have a series of golden moments, we'll text each other and say, I'm in the vortex. It really is just like one thing after another keeps happening. And it feels like magic and it feels like bliss. And it's really because you've settled yourself into a place of acceptance and receiving. And maybe we'll have time to talk about this in our interview, or maybe I'll have to have you on my show again so we can talk about this. But I was just reading a thing about the divine feminine. And I think that is what Golden Otter will be exploring in 2018 was the moon cycles. And we can talk about that. We will talk about that later in the show. But the divine feminine is really what's coming up for me in 2019. And it's this idea of women as the vessels of creation. And by nature, we are receivers. And when we can settle into that more feminine role, and it doesn't mean you have to be a mother to create life or anything like that. It's just in ourselves, this substance of creation. And so you're right, it can happen anytime. But I also wanted to say, as far as golden moments, I was talking to another friend. She said that at Christmas time, more angels are on Earth. And I was like, really? Tell me about this. And she was just saying that like there's specific Christmas angels or holiday angels that come and like imbue the earth with like this really magical feeling for everybody. So I hope everybody out there is just having a really beautiful time right now.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
I had not heard that.
I know. Yeah. And so it's like you can call on them to like, you know, if you're maybe at a Christmas gathering or a holiday gathering that you're not so stoked about, and say, what would it take for an angel to show up and really help me enjoy this space? And it could be a literal angel from, you know, the heavens, or it could be somebody who just comes in and acts as an angel, and that stranger at the party who, you know, you have a really great conversation with that you didn't think you were going to have a great time at the party, and then you did. So that's how the angels work.
It's interesting you mentioned that because we were traveling from the DC area to South Florida for the holiday. And I did a meditation in the car while we were driving, and I actually connected with an angel I had not connected with before. And so I'm wondering now if maybe it's because it's Christmas time, like you were like you said before. So yeah, that's really cool. That's interesting.
The veil is thin, but well, you know what? Let's jump right into. We're going to talk about Christmas angels and not get a chance to talk about amazing business, Karmic Kindness. So you do high energy jewelry that is handmade in the USA with recycled elements. So just start me off. How did you get into the jewelry business?
Well, so it's kind of a long story that I'll try to summarize in just a few sentences. But in essence, I was at a point in my life where I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to contribute. I'd been a stay-at-home mom for quite some time, and I wanted to contribute in some way to the world, in essence, and I had no idea how. I'd always been drawn to stones, but I didn't realize the energetic and I would say almost magical qualities that stones and crystals carry. And I was cleaning out a closet and I came across all of this jewelry making stuff that I had from high school and college. A former boyfriend taught me how to make necklaces. And I thought, wow, you know what? Maybe there's a way to combine the two. And in talking with a friend, realized that I could. So I took a deep dive into learning about the energies and realized how powerful they could be. And so just used my past knowledge of how to create jewelry and my new knowledge of how the stones work and combine them to create Karmic Kindness. So, you know, and the other huge aspect of my business is the fair trade component. So the way I see it is that all my pieces of jewelry are you know, naturally infused with the energetic qualities of each of the stones. They all come from different places. They're processed in different ways. They're mined in different areas of the world. And so it's definitely important in my mind, if you're wearing a piece of jewelry to bring a positive energy to your life, that it came from and was created in a way where people were not hurt or taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
So that was huge for me. And I had no idea how difficult it was going to be to find stones and components for jewelry that come from fair trade sources. So that was a huge part. That probably took more time than learning about the stones themselves, just finding suppliers that I trusted and believed in.
Well, good for you for sticking with it, because sometimes I think in business, always in business, it's always beneficial to do things the quickest, the easiest, the cheapest to make a profit. And I think the collective consciousness is we're starting to feel the results of that in our society, and the down chain of our purchasing, and how you buy something, you go, you know what, this just doesn't feel it doesn't feel in alignment, and something you acquire that you were really excited about may turn into what you would call junk in your mind, because there's no resonating energy with it. I know I have some beads that I bought hiking through the mountains in Peru off of a woman with an alpaca just coming through a valley. We were up at Machu Picchu, but it was in the surrounding area, Machu Picchu, and I bought it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting these, and they're tearing and fraying, but I hold on to them because it's endued with such meaning. And I saw the woman who made them, and I know that she was, traversing this valley to go home, and that was her day's work. She had to literally climb a mountain, and holding on to those, it's beyond the memory. It's knowing that I supported somebody locally. And when you buy something off the shelf, it's like, it doesn't have the same energy. And that's why the whole, concept of buying locally and things like that. But in such an interconnected world, it's really beautiful to see that more businesses are becoming socially conscious about that.
Oh, absolutely. And
then you use your jewelry for intention setting. Can you talk about that?
Well, so I have several pieces that already, I came up with a design and an intention surrounding them, but I also do custom pieces for people too. So if they're struggling with a certain aspect of their life that they just, maybe grief, for instance, they lost someone they love, it's a physical reminder of the energy of the stone, of the healing that they want to bring into their life. So it's a you look at it every morning when you put it on, or maybe you never take it off, but every time you look at it, it's a reminder, to tap back into that part of you that you want to heal.
Absolutely. And then as far as when you, so making the stones and infusing them with the natural energy is one thing, but what about the materials that you use to package them and distribute them? I know that that's an important part of your business that I really respected.
So basically I really try to keep my carbon footprint small with what I do. So everything that I use is either recycled or is recyclable. Some of the components that I use are recycled glass. I try, if I find or pieces are gifted to me, I try to reuse them. So every aspect is of my business, as far as the jewelry is concerned, it's very minimal as far as the packaging is concerned. And I'm really, really conscious about ensuring that everything is recycled or recyclable.
That's amazing. I bought, I think it was an oil. I've started using beauty products that are all cruelty-free and fair trade. And, I read all the labels and make sure that it feels really resonated with me, because I'm the farther I go with my spirituality and mediumship, the more the food I put in my body, the chemicals I put on my body, and anything I kind of come in contact with, I can feel the energy of it. And I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Or my skin breaks out or whatever, even if I think it might be good. And one of the companies I was going to buy from, or I think I did, was out in Hawaii. And they had a note on their website that said, hey, heads up, your box is going to be coming, packaged with recycled materials. Don't think it's, don't toss it out. Your purchase is in there. And I kind of was like, oh, recycled stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm the queen of reduce, reuse, recycle. And I was turning up my nose at it. And then I kind of checked myself, and it was like, you don't need a brand new box with brand new packaging for that. You probably, I do reuse all of my stuff as well, but that would more likely, just end up in the recycle bin. But you know what? It's time to go to break. You are listening to Golden Otter Radio with Autumn Seibel. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll explore more about social purpose businesses with Amalia Natalio Collier. Stay tuned.
Join the New Earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each month as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia Stephanie is a spiritual teacher, passionate speaker, published author, and founder of the Empower Network. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Tap into the wisdom of animals, angels, and masters with Darcy Pariso on Animal Soul Wisdom Radio. Tune in monthly as Darcy brings insights on how to better understand and deepen our relationships with animals. Working with light and pureness of ancient techniques, Darcy, healer, animal communicator, and medium, is here to guide you through this process and provide inspiration to move forward. For more information about working with Darcy, visit darcypariso.com.
Are you ready to shift gears from spiritual seeker to spiritual rock star? Let Nova Whiteman be your aligning force that will help you navigate the ups and downs of this human experience. Tune in to Spiritual Alignment Radio with Nova Whiteman every second Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit novawhiteman.com. That's NOVAWIGHTMAN.com.
People often ask, what does it mean to thrive? On Thrive by Jen Radio, it means body confidence, mind fulfillment, and soul synchronicity. Create synchronicity with God and learn as Jen shares action steps and real stories that will inspire you to be unstoppable in fulfilling your purpose. Tune in live each Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com and visit JenniferZellup.com to thrive with Jen.
Hi, I'm Laura Meeks, and the most common problem that my clients face is all work and no play. This is why I created Fly High Living. I help you develop a balanced life plan and guide you to a place where you love to wake up in the morning.
Call 888-666-1570 or go to flyhighliving.com to sign up for the 4-week Flight Plan for Life course.
Have you been searching for a push to step out and share your gifts with the world? Allow Charlene Hess to empower you to start shedding the layers of your ego that are holding you back and begin feeling connected to your heart so that you can shine your unique divine light and share your gifts with the world. Tune in to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge, every third Friday at noon Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit CharleneHess.com.
We're back on Golden Otter Radio. I'm currently guest hosting the Dr. Pat Show. I'm Autumn, and I have my amazing guest today, Amalia Natalia Collier, who's talking with us about her healing work and social conscious businesses. But before we continue, I want to make sure everyone knows how to contact Amalia. So, Amalia, could you give us your contact info for listeners?
I would love to. So if you're interested in the jewelry, actually, karmickindness.com is the best place to find everything. We haven't talked about some of the other things that I offer, but a little bit later we'll be talking about retreats, and there's a website that you can go to called soulglowretreats.com. So I'll just go ahead and give you a little bit of a teaser about that now. But karmickindness.com is the place for pretty much everything. So that's your one-stop shop.
So Karmic Kindness is where karmickindness.com is where folks can go to check out your fair trade jewelry and your healing jewelry, energy infused jewelry. And then soulglowretreats.com is where they can go for your healing work, to schedule retreats and get more information on the services you offer. Is that right?
Yes. Well, so basically I've got a link on karmickindness.com too. So it's just, it depends on what people are interested in. It's all there. I also have some inspirational apparel on karmickindness.com, some new stuff that I created that's really just kind of fun. And it's another physical reminder of some intentions that you could set for yourself too, outside of the jewelry.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So we are going to talk about full circle giving and social purpose business models that are kind of entering the mainstream. What made you decide to go with a social purpose business model? That might be what I'm calling it, if you have another name for it.
Well, for me, I call it my nonprofit beneficiary program. So each quarter, and sometimes monthly, it really depends on what's happening in the world, I donate to a rotating list of nonprofits. Most of the nonprofits that I have donated to and have chosen to support have been ones that have touched me in a way, in a personal way, or it's a cause that I feel really strongly about. And so I actually even had one nonprofit reach out to me to see if we could work together, which I thought was really awesome. And I had never heard of them. It's an organization called Living Beyond Breast Cancer. I believe they're based out of Philadelphia, and I love the fact that they support obviously the patient, but also the caregivers, which I think are often overlooked when someone is essentially fighting for their life. Obviously, they're, most people are focusing on them and putting their attention on them, as it should be. But I think the caregiver too really is. It's super important to remember them because they're giving everything they have to support the person who's trying to heal and is really like battling for their life. Yeah. And I thought the fact that they look at that, the whole package and the whole healing was so incredible. So I was honored and more than happy to support them.
That's really beautiful. My last show that I just did with an energy healer named Joseph Adams did it on Golden Otter Radio, and we were talking about the wounded healer archetype and how so many healers get in kind of a self-care deficit where they're giving so much of themselves that then they become in need of healing themselves. And so that's a really, what a really cool business model. Yeah. A really cool charity. So how can other businesses, so like for myself, for Golden Otter Divinations, it's turning into a social conscious business. It has moved away from being a hobby. It is now a full-time business. And we're, 2019. But we are actually relocating. My spouse is active duty, and we're relocating to Lilongwe, Malawi, on the African continent, where there is, a different standard of living. And even before I have set foot there, I already know that whatever revenue I generate from Golden Otter, a portion of it has to go back to the local economy where I'll be living and working. And for me, the decision kind of made itself. There was a need, and I have a channel from source to fill it. But how can other people who, maybe want to turn their business into a social purpose business to draw in a little bit more source and energy? Because the more we give, the more we receive. Ultimately, we're just a funnel for God or source or abundance or infinite intelligence, whatever your higher power is called, to flow through. So how can people look to find a portion modeling formula and or where to look when donating to charity? Well,
I'm definitely not an expert, but I think I could speak for myself when it comes to the business. Like, I think it also depends on what you are selling. So for me, I've also donated actual pieces of jewelry to certain nonprofits for them to sell themselves, and they keep the revenue from that. So I think it depends on what you're selling. I think it depends on what's important to you as a company. What message maybe are you trying to send out to the world? Like I had mentioned before, for me, it was really about causes that were important to me. Polaris is an organization based out of Washington, D.C., which is a very, very huge support for victims of human trafficking. I think they are extraordinary. I personally, thank goodness, have not been touched by that particular plight of the world, but hearing about it, it's terrifying. And I just think I have a daughter, and that I just can't even imagine what some of these girls go through. It's whatever speaks to your heart. Yeah. Is what it sounds like. It's like what calls to you and says, you are the person who has the ability to, no matter how small of a drop you make, you can cause a ripple. And that's what calls to you. I've heard that a lot with people who have no reason to be drawn to something and their life hasn't personally been affected by it. And then they go, well, I don't have a reason. You don't need a reason. Like, your soul is being called for that. And God bless you for wanting to put that energy, that positive energy into the world. You don't need a reason and you don't need a justification. It can be whatever calls to you. Absolutely. And being profitable in business is never something to be ashamed of. I see a lot of people, especially in like the new age metaphysical world, there's this idea that you can't be spiritual and can't be rich, and really that's starting to become dispelled. It really is. Cornelia Stephanie hosts a show about women and money and how it's our birthright. And so the mindset is starting to really shift, which I'm so excited about, because there shouldn't be any shame on creating abundance, because the more you can draw in, the more you can share. And women are natural sharers.
we're speaking as women business owners, but
right.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. And then as far as the other thing we wanted to talk about in this episode is this idea of soulful gifting and all of our purchases having a down chain effect. Do you have anything you want to talk about before we go for a break with that?
You know, I mean, I think you pretty much have covered it pretty well. I mean, I think when you're determining who you want to spend your money with and where the money goes, I think it's important to really take into consideration the whole picture. You know, where did the materials come from? Who created them? And then what is that company doing in the world? I mean, if you're, you know, maybe they do all of those things, but they're really not out there in conducting themselves in the world in a way that is high integrity and stands behind what they're trying to quote unquote sell, you might want to rethink that too. So I think it's people tend not to spend a whole lot of time thinking about where things come from. They see something, they like it, they take it off the shelf, they buy it, done. But there's so much more to it than that. And even if you just spend maybe 2 minutes, everyone's got a phone in their hand, you know, just do a quick little research. And see if there's any, you know, little tidbits you can find about the company that resonates with you, then you'll know you can feel really, really great about that purchase.
That's perfect. And, you know, we just had a full moon in Cancer, and I just wrote a ritual for this for my Lunar Manifestations membership. Maybe we'll talk about that at the end. And essentially I did a psychometry ritual where anything you come into contact with that you purchase or considering purchasing, if you don't have your phone with you and you can't do the actual research, you can hold it in your hand or hold it near you or stand close to it and just kind of tap in with your heart chakra and your crown chakra and invite universal source or knowledge into your crown and then feel it in your heart. And if the item feels really light and joyful and blissful and you feel like the down chain is something that you want to be involved in, it'll feel good in your heart. And if your stomach maybe starts to get tight and your gut starts to clench up, then maybe that is a product that you don't really want to be involved with. Don't overthink it. Just touch it or come near it and say, like, okay, is this going to be something? And we talked about this briefly during the break. I have 2 pieces of jewelry that my spouse purchased for me overseas, during the wars. And I used to not wear them. I used to keep them in a box, and I felt a lot of angst around these items, knowing where they came from and knowing what time of my life they were from. And we were talking about this during the break, that you can start to reverse the energy of an item just by sending it love and sending the people who along its chain, because once something is created, it's there. You can't, it's there. You got it. It's in your home.
Right.
And instead of getting rid of it, you can try to transmute that energy by sending it love and sending it really positive energy every time you wear it and kind of reverse that flow. But you know what? Let's hold that thought so we have plenty of time to capture it. We are going to take a quick break. And then when we get back, we'll talk about a soulful life.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now, 831-277-3716, or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
How often do you find yourself wondering, why me? Learn a new shift in perspective to see how everything that takes place in your life is actually working for you and shifting you towards your own enlightenment. Tune in to Blank Enlightenment Radio with Misty Thompson each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit MistyMThompson.com. That's MistyMThompson.com.
The Knowledge Book, currently studied in 39 countries and 15 languages around the world, accelerates our evolution, takes us out of depression, offers universal truth, protects us, and makes us stronger, both spiritually and physically. So if you are interested in the Knowledge Book, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net and tune in to the Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
Benny always plays great music before we go in and out of our breaks, raises our vibration. So we're back on Golden Otter Radio with me, Autumn Seibel. I'm guest hosting for Dr. Pat today on the Dr. Pat Show. Thank you all so much for being with us on Christmas Eve as we get into the holiday vibe. I have my amazing guest today, Soulful Life facilitator Amalia Natalia Collier, who's here discussing what it means to live and gift a soulful life. So she has Soulful Life workshops, and I want to dive right in. Amalia, what is a soulful life?
Okay. So a soulful life is essentially clarity of desire plus intentional action equals a soulful life. So basically what my Soulful Life workshops do is help you get clear on what you desire in your life. And when I say what you desire, it's not necessarily a physical object or a material item. It's really based on how do you want to feel. And a lot of this work is based on Danielle Laporte's Desire Map book and her work, which is amazing. And then I've really kind of morphed this into my own little baby, if you will, where we really use all kinds of different tools to get clear. Because I think sometimes we find that we get in our own way. We spend too much time overthinking and overanalyzing. And usually your first thought, your first feeling, that whatever that initial idea that drops in is the right one for you. And when you overthink it and you overanalyze it, it gets confusing and it gets muddied. And I have found in the workshops that I've led and the one-on-one sessions I've done with folks is that it's really nice to have somebody hold your hand through the process, because they can keep you on track. They can guide you without you getting lost in your own head and your own thoughts and your own I should do, I should be sort of mindset.
Absolutely. I was just listening to a thing. There's a author speaker. Her name's Christy Marie Sheldon, and she does this unlimited abundance mindset.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
You know Christy? Oh,
yes.
So I was listening to her, and then I popped up onto Instagram. I was going to talk about the show, and it was her face at Christmas. So hi, Christy Marie, if you're listening. Merry Christmas. She was doing gingerbread, and I was like, oh, like, it's so funny, perfect timing, because the course is so old that I've been taking for years, that the synchronicity, but it just goes to talk about essentially this idea of an energy of that's perfectly aligned with what your soul wants to live out in this physical incarnation. And when you can touch into that through the clarity that you're talking about, really looking at your life and saying, like, what is it that would make me happy, and not moving so quickly through life, but really taking a step, looking at it, and then you find that energetic field and you feel it in your body. And then as you release the intention and move into action, anytime you feel that energy, you don't even have to think about it, because you go, oh, I know that feeling. That is what's aligned with my soul. And you walk into it. And then it goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the episode, is just that whenever you tap into energy and you know that it's right for you, you know that it's right for you. And you just can proceed and have those golden moments and be in the flow. And it almost feels alchemical, like it feels magical, because there's no efforting. It's just happening. But you did do the work. You just did it on the front end so that you could enjoy it in the back end.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I think with any inner work, it can get a little bit messy, and you're going to be looking at aspects of yourself that aren't always the most attractive aspects of you, at least in your own mind, in your own opinion. But there's beauty even in those not so gorgeous aspects of yourself, because there's a lesson, there's something there that you can learn from, that you can make a shift, you can make a change. And that kind of comes into the intentional action part of a soulful life. So once you figure out the how you want to feel, like the good stuff, like the beautiful, beautiful, like, this is so amazing feeling. And you also know the part that you don't like, the part and the aspects that really make you feel contracted and closed down, kind of like what you were talking about earlier with your Cancer full moon ritual with, when you're holding an object. Then you are better able to figure out, okay, what action can I take to bring more of the, this feels so good into my life. And that's where, my help and facilitation really, I think, is the most, I guess, clarifying in a way where I think also when you have these dreams and you have these big desires, but you have no idea how to get from point A to point Z, you're too focused on point Z. You need to look at B. What's your first small step?
Yeah.
Like, what small thing can you do? And I think that one small step will lead you to the next one, and then the next one.
You know what? So speaking of small steps, this would be a perfect time to mention to all of our listeners who, thank you so much for tuning in. We both have a free gift to offer. So do you want to talk about yours real quick? Because that would be a perfect first step for somebody to take right now, today, to go to our website, get their free gift. And then if it resonates, it resonates. If not, you just took your first step, and you could take another and another and another.
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
So if you are interested, we haven't really talked about the retreats yet, but the website where I have information about the retreats, I also have information about a soulful life. And if you pop in your email address, I'm going to send you a free gift. I think for right now, we're going to work, especially with the beginning of the year, right around the corner. It's a Soul Glow journal gift pack. And so if you enter your email information, you'll get a journal gift pack, which would be a really fantastic way for you to kick off 2019. And I'll be sharing some more freebies and some other, fun little tidbits throughout the upcoming year. So that'll keep you in the loop too, but it's a great way to get started before my official kickoff in January of next year.
That's perfect. It's a great first step.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then,
I was just going to say, if they pop over to soulglowretreats.com, it'll take them to that page.
Perfect. And then for me, folks, if you guys would like to join me on my manifesting journey, I'm big on manifesting. I think everybody has their own entry point into the manifestation and law of attraction world. And for me, I do a monthly manifesting membership forum, and it is called Lunar Manifestations. Very easy. But if you go over to goldenotter.us, there will be a free lunar manifestation guide to kind of get you started on what the importance of the new and full moons are. I talked about this on the Dr. Pat show a while ago and hadn't put it up yet. But yeah, so go over to goldenotter.us and enter your email address, and we will send that over to you. Golden like the precious metal, otter like the precious animal.us. Okay, thank you guys so much. Take that first step. It's very exciting.
And actually, if you don't mind, I just wanted to share really quickly, Autumn. I am a member of her of her membership, and I can tell you there is so much information there, like unbelievably gorgeous information. Her rituals are so creative and so powerful. I can tell you firsthand, having done many of them myself, just you will not regret popping over to her site and becoming a member, because she really offers a lot of value for her membership.
You are so kind. Thank you, Amalia. I did not pay her to say that, folks.
She did not. We did not even discuss it. I just felt very moved to share that, because I can say personally, it's magical. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, so speaking about relationships, what's our segue into relationships? So relationship building, I think that's part of living a soulful life. And how would you say that living a soulful life impacts relationships?
Well, you know what? I would have to say with when you are tuned into and are clear on who you are and what you want to be and how you want to present yourself in the world, you'll find that certain people are magnetized to you and certain people will maybe fall away. And the falling away can sometimes be sad, but there's also a beauty in that because they were there for a purpose, for a reason. They were part of your journey, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they will be on the journey with you forever. It was just for that specific time. And I think the more you are in alignment with who you are, you will find that, like I said, people will be magnetized to you, but people that really raise your vibration, that lift you up, that really make a difference. And, you know, basically what you were mentioning at the top of the show about, you know, buoying the collective, I think that's what happens. You know, once you're really acting in alignment and you are out in the world being the best you that you can be, you'll find that it starts to have a ripple effect with people around you because they see there's this difference with you, a difference about you. And they're like, wow, I want some of that. And the next thing you know, they're starting to vibe higher. And it's you know, very much a collective, you know, positive increase, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, we have to take a quick break. Before we do, maybe this is the moment that we wish everybody a magnetized 2019 and that all of the abundance and blessings and friendships and partnerships and relationships that you want to draw into your life. This is the year. There's, you know, this is the time. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about Soulful Life workshops. Stay tuned. You're listening to Golden Otter Divinations on the Dr. Pat Show.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Love Living Radio Ignite Your Whole Being with Emily Perkins is a show for those looking to explore the sparkling magnificence of their inner selves. Tune in every second and fourth Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific as Emily sheds a radiant light of love on the beauty and power that resides within you. Discussing love in all its forms through conversations that provoke awareness, curiosity, and expansion, Emily shares the unlimited power of love. For more information or to listen to this show, visit lovelivingHolistics.com.
Are you ready to create a life you'll really love? Then you'll want to tune in to the hit show Life Design Radio From Adversity to Awesome with Susan DiLorenzo. Live each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. No matter where you are in your adversity story, Life Design Radio has got you covered. Get ready to feel inspired, enlightened, and motivated. For more information about working with Susan, visit SusanDiLorenzo.com.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we, Jason and Patricia, discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information about Living Lighter, visit www.livinglighter.org.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Are you ready to finally feel empowered and knowledgeable in your political stance? Let Marcia Padilla-Goad educate you on exactly how important grassroots advocacy is in a relatable way to all perspectives. Tune in to Grassroots Advocacy Radio with Marcia every first Tuesday of the month at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Visit DynamicsInPublicAffairs.com.
We are back on Golden Otter Radio with me, Autumn Seibel, who is guest hosting for Dr. Pat today, who I hope is really enjoying her holiday. I have Light Warrior here, Amalia Natalia Collier, discussing the bridge between the metaphysical and the mainstream. And now she's going to give us more information about about living a soulful life. So we were talking about your workshops, Amalia. How long are these workshops?
So I've got a few variations of them. There's an introduction, like an introductory workshop that runs about 3 hours. It's a good, like, dip your toe in the water kind of a workshop where we really focus on the what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And then we'll narrow down like one facet of your life to focus on with an intentional action step. So you'll, when we wrap up, you'll have a lot more clarity and you'll have an action step to take towards one area of your life. So that's kind of the introductory. I've got a couple of those coming up in 2019 in the Leesburg area, in Northern Virginia. So Loudoun County mostly. I've one in Berryville. So
if you're in the greater DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, it's within driving distance?
Absolutely. A few more to come. I just haven't nailed down specific dates, but those are on the calendar and you can find that on my website. And,
what about virtually? If anybody wanted to, would you do one-on-ones virtually with folks? I know you're super...
Yeah, absolutely. So we can, if you are local, we can meet locally. If you're not local, I use Zoom. It's a really simple platform to use. We can record our calls so that you can watch it later if you're comfortable with that. It's a fantastic way to talk to people, and I find that you can actually really pick up a lot of energy and a lot of information just from looking at someone even on a screen. It's really pretty cool.
That's right. So something I want to talk about just for 2 seconds. So obviously if you do something in a group setting, that is like you're showing up as yourself and you are declaring to the world that, you're part of this metaphysical belief or just exploring your soul purpose, which, might be a step outside of the mainstream. But, on my Golden Otter, on my Lunar Manifestations form, when I was creating it, I added in anonymity. And I don't know why I did that beyond when I was first entering this space. I felt really like this need for privacy. And I built that in. And so, when you do the one-on-one, you're kind of guaranteed that privacy where if you're in a group, you show up and, actually, hey, hold on 1 second. We have a caller who called in and asked if you have seminars coming up soon. So that's what you were just talking about. When did you say your first one was going to be?
The first one is going to be the end of January in Berryville. I believe it's the 20, whatever that Sunday is. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Maybe the 22nd.
Virginia?
Berryville, Virginia. And I'm considering doing some online workshops as well. I haven't figured out exactly how to make that work yet. But if you pop over to karmickindness.com or soulglowretreats.com and sign up for your free gift and you'll also sign up to get updates and information. You'll be the first to know when I get that all sorted out.
Perfect. And you're super tech savvy, so that'll be too easy. So thank you guys for talking about that. And what else are we going to talk about with your Soulful retreats? We talked about when they'll be held, where folks are going to go. Oh, are you still honoring your non-profit beneficiary programs, what you were doing for your handmade jewelry with the workshops and retreats?
Yes, I am. And I am considering also basing who I donate to, what organization I donate to, based around the participants. So if there are certain participants that have, maybe they've got a child that has autism, for instance.
Yeah.
And they're really struggling with managing the stress of that, or, that has affected their life in some way. I may consider donating to a nonprofit based on what the participants have going on in their life. It doesn't necessarily have to be based on my preference for the workshops itself. So I definitely am going to continue the nonprofit beneficiary program in addition to, the jewelry and the workshops and retreats. And the other thing I wanted to mention too about the workshops and the one-on-one sessions is that each workshop that is held, I have a general framework, but really it's not always the same. everyone that comes into the workshop has their own set of issues in their life or their own struggles. And what I found with women coming together and sharing in that way, it really is so powerful, where a lot of people walk away with a new friend, somebody that maybe knows somebody else that can help them with something that they're struggling with. And I think that's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing that strangers can come together. And I make it very clear that everything that occurs in that room it's a sacred space, and it is not to leave the room. And so I think people do feel a lot more comfortable sharing, especially once, we get into the work and I share personal things about my life and what's happening with me. They feel more comfortable, being vulnerable and sharing intimate details about their inner self.
You know what I have? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead, Autumn.
I was just saying I have a very similar policy on the Lunar Manifestations forums. There's tribe guidelines about, and that's part of why I made it anonymous. I was going to a lot of development circles, and people go, "What's a mediumship development circle?" And the only thing I could ever equate it to, having seen it in the popular media, never having attended myself, is AA meetings or NA meetings, or a space where it's anonymity is built into the framework so that you can feel safe. And if somebody steps out of that, the responsibility is on them, not on you. No one should ever be punished for self-care. And that's essentially what these groups are. It's taking responsibility for your journey here in the physical and moving into healing. And that's why I do this policy of elected anonymity. You can, by all means, enter your name and everything you want on the website, or you can be totally anonymous. Because when I first entered this space, that was what I needed so that I could reveal my authentic self and not feel anxious about it. And I could be really raw and vulnerable, knowing that it was a safe space. And that's what I wanted to create for my my members. And going back to portion modeling, I'm about to release an ebook on new and full moon rituals. And I'm going to look into that portion modeling that you've talked about for a social conscious business. And I know it'll be when we get to Malawi, I think that it will be a very easy transition to find, but I will definitely be advertising that on a portion of the sales. But we have to get going. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, also, I love this idea of self-care as like a way to give to others. Like, Amalia, thank you so much. It's so amazing. And then it's like incentivized, like, well, I'm going to take care of myself to take care of others. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. You just hacked self-care. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
It's your gift to 2018. You just hacked it. But thank you so much all for listening to Golden Otter Divinations as a guest host on the Dr. Pat Show. Be sure to follow along on Instagram, where you can check in with me and let me know about your golden moments so Spirit and I can cheer you on. Also, if you'd like to contact me or join my monthly manifesting membership, Lunar Manifestations, visit my website, goldenotter.us. Golden like the precious metal, otter like the precious animal. Please take a moment to sign up for my bi-weekly email and get up-to-date info on all things Golden Otter. I want to thank my amazing guests today, Amalia and Natalia Collier, for sharing a wealth of energetic healing and how we can live more soulful lives. I want to thank you all for tuning in on this beautiful Christmas Eve. I had an amazing time sharing this sacred co-creation space with you. Please join me every first Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Our next show will be Friday, January 4th, with Doctor of Chiropractic Medicine, August Manelik, discussing chiropractic care and all things body work for a fun and flexible start to the new year. Have a great week, and I'll feel your positive vibes back here next time. Thanks, Amalia.
Thank you, Autumn. It was awesome. Thank you for having me.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.